So hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. As you can see guys from the title, I'm going to share with you guys my birth story. This is my baby girl. She's 6 weeks old, and I'm going to share with you guys her birth story. And this one here is Eliana. She's my firstborn. Guys, I know most of you didn't know this, but I was pregnant. That's why I didn't manage to vlog a lot the last few months, but I gave birth to her on the 5th of January 2022. She was supposed, her D-Day was supposed to be on the 17th of January, but she decided to come early. She came on the 5th of January. It was a bit different compared to Eliana, but they both came exactly almost the same period. Eliana was supposed to be born on the 17th of August, and she came on the 1st of August. And she was supposed to be born on the 17th of January, and she came on the 1st of January. That means there was not much big of a difference. It was almost the same time. But this time round, it was like totally different. It was on a Wednesday morning. And on this day, Kevin had night shift. That means I was at home with Eliana. We spent the night together. Let me take you guys a few weeks back. On the New Year's Eve, during this season, we decided to go and visit a friend who lives like 1 hour away from our place. And the whole time when I was at her place, I was like, what if the baby comes when I'm at her place? I was so big. I was not having contractions yet, but I was feeling like the baby was about to come when I was at her place. And I wasn't safe because Kevin was not around, and she was also like 37 weeks pregnant. So I was 38 plus and she was 37 weeks pregnant, and we had Eliana. So I was not feeling safe at that time. But the reason why I had to go to her place is because we had just gotten this apartment, and Kevin and his friends were trying to paint and renovate the apartment because I was not supposed to inhale paint while pregnant. That's why we decided I go to my friend's place. Another thing, my friend lives in a different province. That means, for example, where we are living now, we are in Niedersachsen. That's the name of the province, and my friend lives in Schleswig-Holstein. And we had just moved from Hamburg. That means our documents were still under Hamburg province. We moved to Niedersachsen, and I was at that moment in Schleswig-Holstein. That was my fear, because I didn't want to have the labor pains and all that and end up giving birth in a different province, because here in Germany, the birth certificate is processed to where you give birth. That was my issue, because it could have been a long story. Our documents are still under Hamburg, but our address is now in Niedersachsen, and I just gave birth in. Anyway, long story short, that didn't happen. My husband came on the 2nd of January, and we decided to spend the night there. So we drove back from there on that. And the funny thing, I was not feeling anything, but on the 4th, we spent the whole day in Hamburg trying to, we had some appointments and we were doing some stuff. I was not feeling anything. I was not feeling any discomfort or anything. But my husband had night shift from that day in the evening. On the 4th, that's when he was starting, he had his first night shift. So we just got home on the 4th in the evening. He freshened up and he drove back to work, and I was left with Eliana. Another thing is that when we moved here in this area, I don't have so many friends. I only have one friend, the person who gave us this apartment, or the lady who used to live here before. And she was so nice. She told me that in case of anything, I can always communicate with her, and she can end up taking care of Eliana, or she's ready to help. And on this day, I was not actually feeling anything. This is the 4th. On the 4th of January in the evening, I was not feeling anything, so I did not even expect anything. So we went to bed as usual. And before that, I was talking to a friend of mine on the phone, and and I was telling her it would be nice if I get someone who can at least be helping me out with Eliana when I give birth, because with 2 kids it's not easy. Like modo wa kuhiuhagiria, mtu wa kunipikia kidogo ndio before I get back on my feet. And then I went to bed because Kevin was having night shift. I went to sleep with Eliana. We slept together in the same bed. I was actually not feeling anything. On that night, I slept like a baby. So around 8 o'clock in the morning, I wanted to wake up, go to the toilet and pee, and then come back. So the moment I stood up from bed, venye nilisimama tu hivi, I had something on the floor like, my water broke. Kevin is not home. Here I am with Eliana. So I was like, the funny thing, I didn't panic because I was not having any contractions or anything. So the first thing I did, I took my phone and I called Kevin because it was around 8 a.m. and I was expecting him to be home by then. I called him and I was like, babe, my water just broke. He started panicking. What now? Just call the ambulance, blah, blah, blah. I was like, no, chill, Nikki, where about Mushe? And he was like, no, call the ambulance and all that. I didn't call the ambulance. I called the hospital. So when I called, I told them that my water broke, and so she asked me my name because she needed to start preparing my documents because you have to register before giving birth. So she had to take my documents and prepare the process. The question that the lady asked me on the phone was like, do you have any contractions? I said no, because I wasn't feeling anything. And I asked her if I can go to the hospital immediately, or if I have time to like take a shower, or if something, or drive with the private means like a car. And then she told me like, if you don't have any contractions, I can even have breakfast. So I decided, the first thing I decided to do was to take a shower, because who want to go there and down there you don't feel like comfortable because it was in the morning. I took a shower, but during this shower I started feeling like, how do I say, I started feeling like pooping, kukunia, like shitting. But this was not the like this, it felt different. I felt like it was coming, and after like 3 minutes or something, that feelings goes away. Unasikia kukunia, alafu iyo feeling ina disappear. So I was sure that this is not it. This cannot be the real thing. Yeah. Normally, if you feel like shitting or pooping, it remains like constant. It doesn't change. So I was sure, mama, baby off person. So I was sure that was not who. I was sure that the baby was coming. So the next thing that I did after my shower, I called the hospital again. I told her how I was feeling, and she was like, Frau Kimani, du musst hierher so schnell wie möglich kommen. That means I should get to the hospital as fast as I can. So I dressed up and then I called the ambulance, and they were here within like 10 minutes. It was now around some few minutes to 9. So they came, they checked my document, they asked me how I was feeling. I was able to go to walk, or I should sit, or I should lie down. I told them I'm okay. I was actually, at this time, I was still not having any contractions. But the lady told me that this feeling of feeling like pooing is maybe some small contractions. So we stayed here for like 10 minutes, and then we went into the car. By that time, Kevin was already at home, and he started taking care of Eliana, dressing her up, because they had to drive with our car to come to the hospital. So I drove with the ambulance, and then Kevin had to come with the car. And another thing is, for Kevin to be allowed to get into the hospital, he is actually vaccinated, but he had to take a COVID test. And Eliana was not supposed to be in the hospital. So when I called that friend of mine, she was actually at work and she could not make it to come and pick Eliana or to come and collect Eliana. The only option she gave us was like, she can take Eliana later and Kevin can stay with me. So Kevin decided to still drive to the hospital with Eliana. So let me go back to me. When I went to the ambulance, we drove like 5 minutes, and after 5 minutes, I started having contractions. 5 to 3 minutes. But I was still chilled. I wasn't like panicking or something. So when we got to the hospital, it was in the morning. It was now around 9:15, and they received me. We had to test for COVID and all that. I got into the room, Chrysal, we call it Chrysal delivery room, that is. And the midwives there, Hebermen, they were very nice and all that. I got tested, everything. And at this time, I'm still communicating with Kevin to check about his whereabouts. Kevin told me he's not allowed to get into the hospital with Eliana. So he was looking for a place to drop her. When I'm calling Kevin, I'm like, wait a minute. Ooh, ooh. And actually, I was screaming in Kikuyu, in Swahili, in all the languages that you can imagine, but not German. That's the funny thing. So the Heber kept on asking me, where is your husband? At this time, the midwife decided to check if I'm dilated, and the moment she checked, I was already 7 centimeters open. She told me, Frau Kimani, if I had delayed, I could have given birth on the way or at home. So I was like, okay. She asked me again, where is your husband? Does he want to be in here or not? I was like calling Kevin, where are you? Another thing is that I could see when the contractions are coming through the monitor. So I could start screaming like, ooh, ooh. And then I could go up together with the monitor. And then when the contractions are coming down, I could calm down. It was scary. So at around 10:15, that's when Kevin came and he had to be tested. He didn't find a place to test for COVID because I guess it was too early in the morning, or I don't know. And because I was also not having enough time, the hospital said he should come to the hospital and get tested there. So Kevin came at around 10:15, and then he got tested and he had to wait for 15 minutes. During these 15 minutes, it was almost 10:30, guys. It was almost 10:30. So when Kevin came, he tried to confront me, and when I was screaming, he was just like, babe, he's just sitting there, but he doesn't even know how to help. But it was so sweet because he would scream with me. If I start screaming, he would scream with me. And at this time, I'm just praying, telling God, "Oi, Mungu nisaidie. God, please help me. I will never do it again." I was in so much pain that I was just begging God to help me go through it, telling him I will never do it again. Yeah. And I started singing. I sang all the Kikuyu leads that I know, saying, "Oi, guy, oi, ooh, mwadhani," such things. And the moment Kevin got there, at around 10:46, the nurse asked me like if I wanted something to help me with the pain. I was like, no, I just want to try. And then she checked me, and then she said she checked me if I was dilated, and then she said the baby can just come now anytime. And I remember that she went out and left me and Kevin in the room. And the only thing that I remembered is when the contraction came, I just had this urge to push. And then when I was feeling like pushing, I watched the monitor, and then I saw the contraction was coming. So the only thing that I did is that I screamed. I screamed, by the way. I screamed and I pressed. So the moment I screamed and pressed and pulled the alarm so that the midwife can come back, I did them all three at the same time, screaming, pressing, and like pulling the alarm so that the midwife can come. And when she came, she didn't come alone. They came like 3 to 4 of them. I know, I had pooped. I know this is scary. I had pooped and it was like smelling so bad. And I was like, ooh, that stink, Taba. They said, no, it's okay. They, no. And Kevin was just laughing at me and all that. So that was the first push, by the way. That was the first push. And when they were cleaning up, contractions started coming again. And they said, like, I feel like pushing. And then they said, push. And then I pushed. And then the head was already out. So at this time, the head is out. And then the midwife is telling me to feel the head, like to put my hand down there and feel the head. I did that. But she told Kevin, Kevin, do you want to see the head? I told Kevin, no. You know, you're not looking down there. You are not looking down there. I was saying it in German, lieber nicht. At that time, I was actually not feeling pain. I didn't want him to look down there and get traumatized, because I've heard stories of men who were in the delivery room and ended up looking, and they don't touch their wives anymore. I didn't want to have that. And he was actually also scared. He was scared because he didn't do it. And that was the second push. And then that push, I pushed, and the only thing I had was poo, 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 poo. That was the shoulders and then the legs. And the baby was there. So the baby took like 1 minute without crying. So I've not even opened my eyes, and I'm there asking Kevin, why is the baby not crying? Mama, stop.
People are nice. People are not.
Yeah. Why is the baby not crying? And Kevin was like, I don't know. And then after a minute, she started crying. She cries up to date. She's actually a cry baby. Anyways, that was so short and sweet. And I was given my baby. They said, congratulations, here's your beautiful baby girl. And another thing, Kevin was asked to cut the umbilical cord. But at that time, we were actually praying. I was telling Jesus, thank you, God. Because it was not easy. Wamboi. Nachunguliaje kajicho kamoja.
You like me too much.
It was short but intense. Short and intense, because it was like from 8:30. Actually, the contractions, I had them from 9 to 10:47. That's when I can say I felt something, because before then, when the water broke and all that, I was not feeling the contractions. So I was not in pain. But all I can say is that I thank God. And to all the moms out there, I just want to tell you guys, if you're expecting, it's always different. So I can't tell you like it's going to be like this, because every delivery, every labor is different. And to all those women out there wishing to bear fruits, I just pray for you guys. May God bless the fruit of your wombs. May God bless you guys. And may God protect all those women who are expecting. Anyways, guys, that's it. I'll keep you guys updated. My next video is going to be like our first month with a newborn and a toddler. It's not easy, guys. It's not easy, especially if you're in a diaspora. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching up to this far. If you have any questions or something that you would like to know, let me know down in the comment section, and I'll see you guys on my next video. Bye.